Why you do me like Joanna? Joanna. Girl, that's my jam. I love that little jam right there.
Sure.
Hey, everybody. I'm Terrell Montez.
And I'm Caitlin with Cosmo Talk.
Thank you for waking up with me, Terrell Montez, and my girl Caitlin with Cosmo Talk. So a couple things that we want to talk about today. We're not really into politics or anything like that whatsoever. So if that's what y'all think that it is, it's totally not that. This is just two young entrepreneurs with our own opinion and things like that. Just want to voice about a few things. So we both believe that if you're not a part of the solution, then
you're part of the problem.
Exactly. So with that being said, I want to talk about what had happened over the weekend. Ohio, California, and Texas. We all know that there were deadly shootings like constantly happening and things like that. And
terrorist attacks. Let's call it what it was.
Exactly. Let's call it terrorist attack. Let's stop saying that, as our president would say, a cowardice act. I'm like, okay, let's call it terrorism and stuff like that. So we want to build the wall, keep the terrorists out and stuff like that. And you want to say all these people are doing X, Y, and Z. They're gonna invade our country and do whatever the case may be. When in actuality,
the terrorists are right here in America.
The terrorists are right here in America, and
like a topic like this really touches home for me because my family came here as foreigners. So when I hear people saying like foreigners come here and they do most of the crime and anything under that realm kind of touches home for me because growing up in the Northeast, because as you may know, I'm from New York and Connecticut, all the foreigners that I know, they're hard-working people. Like they work 5, 6, even 10 jobs to keep their wives and children under their roof and well-fed and all of that. Like, so for me, when they talk about foreigners, I'm like, especially growing out, I can't speak for too much away from the Northeast because I'm not there. But a lot of the foreigners that I know, because I know I'm a Catholic schoolgirl, my parents paid for my education as a foreigner, working several jobs, to do so. They really want the best for themselves and their family. They do not come here to America expecting a handout. They come here to America expecting an opportunity to be part of the working class. They're not here looking for trouble. They're actually escaping trouble from their home country. If their home country was stable enough, I'm pretty sure we would rather live in our home country because our home country is blazing.com. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But, if our home country was able to offer us the opportunities that we have here in America, we definitely would not be here in America because the only thing America does have to offer people is the opportunity to advance financially if you choose to go that avenue. So we're not here looking for any trouble or anything like that. We're just here trying to take care of our family. But we're going back to what happened here in El Paso over the weekend. And it was a live shooting in Walmart. And of course, our president, dear old Donald Trump, had something to say. And, our bad gal Riri had a response for that. So you want to do us the honors to read that?
So after Trump, he's going to get on Twitter and tweet and say whatever he wants to say about the situation. So this is Donald Trump's tweet, and I quote, "Today's shooting in El Paso, Texas was not only tragic, it was an act of cowardice. I know that I stand with everyone in this country to condemn today's hateful act. There are no reasons or excuses that will ever justify killing innocent people." Okay, I'm nice that he said something and things like that or whatever. You're the president. You're supposed to say something. I'm pretty sure anyone else who has a large political platform, they even mentioned it or they probably chimed in and said whatever they had to say on it. But here's what bad girl Riri, Rihanna, who's also a foreigner, She's been living in. She came to the States when she was like 14 to pursue a musical career that she couldn't do back in her home country in Barbados and things like that. So here's what Rihanna said. Donald, you spelled terrorism wrong. She was referring to when he said cowardice act. You spelled terrorism wrong. Your country had 2 terrorist attacks back to back, hours apart, leaving almost 30 innocent people dead. This just days after yet another terrorist attack in California. Over the last 3 days, we had a total of 3 open gunman shootings, all so happened to be native to the country that we're in our home of the free, make America great again.
Yes.
They also
were not foreigners, y'all.
Yeah, so legally, after our president, he made it legal again for people to just anyone to go ahead and buy an AK-47.
It's pretty much easy, especially in the what is it? Right to stand states.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground states, which Texas happens to be one of those stand your ground states. There are many stand your ground states. Texas happens to be one of them. Florida, like there are an umbrella of them in the southern states. That makes it pretty much very easy to be able to open carry, conceal carry, or even obtain a firearm altogether. I'm not one to say we need to take away gun rights or anything like that, because all who knows me knows I love to carry me a piece of steel. I need my protection. Other than God, my piece of steel is my protection. Like, you run up on me if you want to.
Okay,
but like, I'll stand my ground. But where do we draw the line on what type of weapons we are actually able to purchase? Because me coming from the military, AK-47 as an assault weapon, that's not even the weapon of choice when we're going to war. We're using M16s, stuff like that. Like AK-47s is usually reserved for someone who's infantry or MPs. So why is it so easy for a regular citizen to get an AK-47? What do you really need an AK-47 for as a regular citizen? Who are you going to war with?
Exactly.
Like, you're not really protecting your house with an AK-47. All you need is a 9mm to protect yourself.
Exactly.
Like, you don't really need anything more extravagant than that.
Yeah, like with that being said, I have to ask, I'm like, okay, it takes more to get qualified to buy a house that it can be burnt down in 5 minutes.
It takes you more time to qualify to buy a house than it is for you to qualify to purchase a weapon that can be used for mass destruction.
And that we continue to see. It's been constantly happening. It's not the first time that someone let's be specific. This isn't the first time that someone from this country, birthed here, born here, from this country, has purchased an AK-47
or any type of assault rifle,
and just went ham and went on a killing spree. Mm-hmm. Like, why does it take 3 to 4 months to close on a home, which possibly couldn't even cause anyone any harm? I don't think to go buy a house. You don't think that people are going to go? Yeah. People are going to be dead when you buy a house.
But it only takes you a few hours in these states to get a weapon. Because all they do is you go in, you bring your ID to because when I purchased my weapon in Texas, what did I have to do? I brought in my ID. Mm-hmm. They did a background check real quick on me right then and there, and they sold me my weapon. The process takes a little longer in Connecticut and New York because you actually got to go in and get fingerprinted, but it still takes a lot less than 3 months.
Wow.
Like, it still takes, I think the turnaround time for me in Connecticut was maybe 72 hours. 72 hours, yeah, 72 hours. They did my fingerprint, and I received a letter in the mail and a phone call, like, yeah, you're cleared to go register because I had already had my license in Texas because I was stationed in Killeen. So I already had my license from there. So I just was cleared to go ahead and register my weapon with the police department.
And Another thing that I want to go ahead and consider is like these shootings, they're getting inspiration and encouragement from past shootings. So just this it hasn't even been over these last 3 days, it's been 3 shootings in 3 different places.
Exactly.
So it's like, how many more times are we going to allow this to happen and get national broadcast of the event, instead of putting it in front of other sick-minded individuals that are in our country? Because I believe you have to be in some sort of illness. This is just me personally and things like that. Is there a study out there? I don't know. If there is a study and you know about it, please let me know, comment and tag me in, and I'd love to read it and things like that. But it's like, and we're steady broadcasting it and things like that. It's like no one at this point has been a part of the solution. I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to my previous president, Barack Obama, because when he was in office, there was something in place that you just can't go in and buy an AK-47. I believe it was something like that. Don't quote me completely.
So he was trying to bring to light the fact that maybe they should start doing mental illness checks for the purchase of firearms, because a lot of times, like I say, firearms don't kill people. It's people who kill people. That's what I like to say, because the gun in itself is just there. It's a tool. Like, you have to actually physically pick it up in order to do harm to somebody else. Like, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Like, I'm part of the NRA and all of that, but at the same time, there should be some type of check. Like, if someone is known in the past to have, like, I don't know, like suicidal thoughts or like, hate crimes in their past, like, they really should put more effort into researching the people who they're giving licenses to for these weapons.
Thank you.
Because just like you do your due diligence to do your checks on, okay, this person wants to join the FBI, let's go down the line and check to see who their cousins are, what kind of gangs their cousins is affiliated in, and all type of stuff. You need to take that due diligence and see what kind of organizations this person is in, see if they have any mental instability, that really they shouldn't have no weapon. And if you have any type of mental imbalance, that there could be a possible time that you have a breakout and you decide, okay, you want to go kill 1 million people, you have no business having no weapon.
And and as we sit here and think about it, I'm just like, I'm thinking about more things more and more. Like, it kills me. Like, to get a job, sometimes they want to check our credit scores. They want to do a background check and things like that.
A thorough one too.
Exactly. They would like to call people. They won't even get reference. They not only do they want to call your last jobs, but they want to hear some personal reference that you have that are not friends and things like that. Why is that not the process when I'm getting a firearm, and firearms have been consistently been involved with mass shootings? People that are, as every time they're prosecuted or whatever the case may be, they're calling these people just sick, like it's an illness. They're allowing sick people. Our country allows sick people. They don't care about the people that are not sick, that are innocent, that are trying to put their children. Children are being shot in schools. Young entrepreneurs, whatever the case may be, people who are out trying to celebrate their life. They're trying to express themselves the way that they know how to. They're having fun. They're in the malls. They're at food festivals and things like that.
They're dying too soon.
They're dying. Like, what the heck? I'm not expecting to go to a food festival. Like, some places where you go to, they check for guns in concerts. Are you serious? You check for guns in concerts, but to make sure that nothing happens. But however, why are we doing the check or the safety protection? Why are we doing it immediately before the gun gets in the wrong hands? Like, it makes no sense. You can go to churches, they like to search your bags and things like that. Why can't we do this immediately before the gun is handed off?
Yeah. And I'm going to have to bring it a little step up, because I like to bring the controversy, whether you like to hear it or not, but I'm going to keep it 100%. A lot of times when you hear these mass shootings and they're referring to the perpetrator as being sick, the skin color of that perpetrator is usually white.
Mm.
Because if the skin color of that perpetrator was black, they would have automatically been deemed a thug. They would have brought it back to their childhood. They were 2 years old and they were a crack baby or something like that. Like, but for some reason, you know, I don't like pulling the race card, but for some reason, when white people commit a crime, they get some sort of pass. Oh, they have a mental illness. That's why they did that. You didn't have a mental illness. You was aware. You planned this out. You didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to go shoot up Walmart.
Because you have to put intelligence to
Exactly.
map out this plan and
Exactly.
things like that. You have to put intelligence into how am I going to get past a security or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to shoot? How am I going to kill 30 people from this different? Oh, okay, I have to get this type of gun because this is a long distance shooting gun.
And
it
it's
takes
a mass
intelligence.
Exactly. You didn't sit there and wake up one morning and just was having a bad day. Because I have bad days too.
And I ain't gonna go shoot nobody.
Right? And there has not been a bad day that I woke up and said, you know what, I'm gonna go shoot up Walmart. I may have bad days and say, you know what, I'm gonna go curse out my friend and bring it out.
And as bad as Walmart lines are, I may want to cuss a couple of folks out,
Right.
but I still know a little better than that. Like I don't get it, and then
for our president to say cowardism, like
coward. Wait, what have been what action could this person have took for them not to be a coward?
I don't think they were a terrorist. Because let this have been a Mexican, because you know, since we're trying to build walls around Mexico to keep them out, let this person have been Mexican, they would have been called a terrorist. Now, our president would have been saying, now this is why we need this wall. They would have been called a terrorist. Let them have been someone from the Middle East. They would have been called a terrorist. Let them have been someone from the Caribbean, from Haiti, from Jamaica. They would have been called a terrorist. Let them have been someone who, you know, just anybody who doesn't fit in the box of what America and our president feel is the privilege. They would have been called terrorists. So why isn't this act called terrorism? Because that's basically what they did. They came into this Walmart and all the other places and they terrorized that place. That's not an act of cowardism. That is a terrorist act.
Innocent bystanders, even if you weren't affected or even if you didn't lose your life or anything, just imagine how people can feel. You're inside of a building. There's only 2 or 3 exits. You're hearing the echoes of gunshots. You don't know if to run left. You don't know if to run right. You don't know if to get on the ground or not. You're terrified. Yeah. Anyone that can put that type of pain on someone, because when being terrified of anything, that's an inflicting pain. That doesn't feel good whatsoever. You're a terrorist. Yeah. You are a terrorist, and then for Donald Trump that was definitely a slap on the wrist for him to say that there was an act of cowardice.
Yeah, and then you know, since we are approaching election time, I do want to call out to all the candidates. Since we are on this platform of making America great again.
Wait, let's go back again. First off, America was never great to begin with.
But let's pretend it was.
Okay, we'll roll with that.
Since we're on the platform of making America great again, this is what I ask from the candidates that are running for this upcoming election. I want to feel safe shopping in my malls. I want to feel safe sending my children to school. I want to make sure I feel my son is going to come home back to me without being harassed by the police every time he steps outside. That will make me feel like America is great again. Until we take the time and pass the certain type of legislators and the laws that will allow me as a citizen of this country to feel safe, I don't think America is ever going to be great again.
You know what? I will definitely agree with you there, because until America actually acknowledges that we as people of color, whether you're foreign or not, people of color, you know what, and foreigners. Until America actually stands up and acknowledges the fact that we don't get treated the same.
We don't.
We don't get treated the same. However, we're here and we're making so much of the economy and things like that. We don't get fair opportunities whatsoever.
We don't.
And we have a history. There's a history and it's still trending. Until we acknowledge that as a country, and until America can acknowledge that, until the people who we call our leaders, yes, we voted for you all. Well, we voted. We voted for Hillary. Let's go there. But the electoral vote, don't know how the hell that is calculated and things, but the electoral vote brung in Donald Trump. So I'm seeing that America is teaching us that what we say as people don't mean shit. Squat, bottom line, shit. And we need answers. We need justice. We want to be able to go outside and feel safe no matter what. We don't want to feel like, okay, pretty soon it's only a matter of time before the next white terrorist come into my neighborhood and shoot the little black boys and girls playing outside.
And get away with it.
Or maybe even plow through with a vehicle or a couple of black citizens. Not saying that what my people do, because I know sometimes my people do act a fool. My people will act a fool and it gets to me. But however, that still doesn't justify how America treats foreigners whatsoever.
Or black people in general. So basically, this just kind of brought something home to the both of us, since we are living in Texas and this latest incident did happen in Texas. And it's gun laws, people. Like, I understand the gun companies and all of that. They want to make their money, and I get that. I want you to make your money too. But at the same time, I want our elected officials to do the right thing to make sure everyone in this country is safe. Like, I shouldn't have to be afraid to leave my house because I think some crazy old guy or old woman or whatever may be hiding out down at the mall or down at my child's school ready to kill them.
Exactly.
We want to feel safe in our own habitats.
Because right here in 2019, history is telling me not when it will happen. No, history is telling me not if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen. That someone is going to target me as a black person or just randomly target me as a person, not even a skin color.
Yeah,
not if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen.
Yep.
Check the trends here. It's happening more and more frequently. More and more frequently. Some stories are bigger than others, but it's happening more and more frequently. Something needs to be done.
And maybe we're not experts, so maybe it doesn't have to do with the laws. Maybe we need to make mental health something that's free. Maybe that would be the answer. But whatever it is, I don't know if maybe because now we have more media coverage, we're able to hear more about this, or if this was always going on. But whatever the reason is, we want to feel safe as citizens. We just want to be able to enjoy our lives for the little bit of time that we do have on the planet and contribute the way we want to contribute without having to live in fear of someone ending our life or our loved one's life too soon due to an act of terrorism. Because that's what it is. It's not a cowardice act. It was an act of terrorism. So instead of focusing on putting all our money in building walls, which is dividing us as a nation, we need to focus on uniting ourselves and really focusing on what will make America great again. Because building this wall is not making America great, but getting rid of these terrorists that we already have living here will make America great.
All right, so you heard it from myself. Again, I'm Terrell Montez.
And I'm Caitlin.
So please, please, either you are a part of the problem or you are part of the solution. Please share our video as we want to hear our nation's leaders do something about this. It is trending way more than the Kardashians. And they tweet about the Kardashians more than they tweet about anything.
Yep.
So please share our video. You either part of the problem or you're going to be a part of the solution. It must stop now. You eventually are going to have kids. It's going to trend at a higher, it's going to trend more and more and more, higher and higher. Something needs to be done immediately. These people have lost so many lives. How many more lives must be lost over people who are born in this country and they're just able to walk into a shop with their $500 because they're already privileged enough to do so, show their ID, fill a couple pieces of paperwork, and just get a gun? They're either going to commit harm to themselves and their others. There are people that are out here that are sick. We need things in place to protect us before they get the guns in their hands. And I have nothing else to say. Thank you guys. Please comment if you have any articles that we need to read. If you have any information that could help us make our call to our country's leaders stronger, please comment. Please tag a friend, tag anyone who has children, tag someone who was affected by any mass shooting in this country, no matter if it was this weekend, 20 years ago, or anything. If you have any facts that you know about gun shootings and things like that, or about any mental health issues and how this can relate, please tag. Yeah. We need to do something now.
And our condolences to all those who lost loved ones during these past shootings.
Sorry for your loss.
You will be in our prayers, and just know this will not be just brushed under the rug. We will do everything that we can to bring awareness to this cause. So please like, share, and tag.
Thank you guys. Have a good one. Peace and love.